to Remembering the Razzies.
Ta-da!
This is our second episode.
Yeah.
Today we're talking about the movie Mommie Dearest. Oh boy.
What a movie.
This is the year 1981.
Mm-hmm.
So movies that came out in 1981.
Should have
Best
been
Picture
better.
winner was Chariots of Fire. Superman 2 came out this year. The highest grossing film was Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Great movie.
And we watched Mommie Dearest.
We did. Let's talk about it.
It's a true story based on a biography about Hollywood actress Joan Crawford and her abusive relationship with her daughter Christina.
And it's about as fun as it sounds.
Yeah, it's super great. This was nominated for 6 Razzies, winning Worst Picture.
It only won Best Picture?
Oh no, Faye Dunaway tied with Bo Derek for Tarzan the Ape Man.
Man, I wish we watched that.
Fun fact, this also at the 10th Golden Raspberry Awards. This won Worst Picture of the Decade. Yeah, this movie was worse than last time's.
Yeah, I definitely enjoyed it less. It wasn't fun.
It wasn't fun. It was boring. There was one scene that was hilarious. If you watch any scene, just watch the wire hanger scene.
Why?
The story wasn't really
It's
anything.
kind of everywhere.
Yeah.
I was expecting a story about, the relationship between Joan and Christina, and then there was a weird Pepsi subplot.
Al and I helped build Pepsi to what it is today. I intend to stay with it.
She tried to buy an apartment using PepsiCo's money because she just married the head of PepsiCo.
Yes. Rest in peace.
And then he dies immediately, and then there's like a 5-minute boardroom scene where they're talking about her assets.
If you watch this movie, do a drinking game where every time a character says Mommie Dearest, take a shot and you'll get messed up.
I love Mommie Dearest. Oh, Mommie Dearest. Yes, Mommie Dearest.
Gosh, what should we talk about?
I don't know.
This movie was so dull.
It was
and not
very,
exciting.
yeah, for such a overacted movie, it was very boring and dull and white bread.
Faye Dunaway stole the show. She was totally trying for an Oscar.
She was too. Like, I feel like in the right context, she was like putting her all into acting.
Yeah.
It was just very bad acting.
Yeah. Worst screenplay? Yeah.
I would think for a picture like this, we got like halfway through. I'm like, so how does this end? Like, does it just end with her dying, or
Yeah.
there's no overarching plot besides the fact that she's alive?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't really know. Screenplay sucked.
I guess just read the book.
I have to imagine it's better.
It's got
It got a movie made about it.
It's a tell-all about one of Hollywood's biggest actresses.
Right.
She won an Oscar for Mildred Pierce.
Right.
You want to watch Mildred Pierce?
Probably not.
Me neither. Let's go into the acting categories. It won Worst Supporting Actor for Steve Forrest, who was the guy who...
Oh, the first boyfriend?
We talked about a switch of emotions, whereas Faye Dunaway would switch it and then switch it back, like, sporadically. Jacob said this guy's was broken at 0.
Yeah, it was broken at 0.
And why do you say that?
Because I'm damn mad at you.
Why?
Then you got Diana Sharwood.
Sure, Scarwood.
Let me go on the record to say that this movie shouldn't have failed. It had so much going for it.
true.
Oscar-nominated actors, Oscar-nominated cinematographers, music, director. This should have been great. So you got Diana S., who was nominated for an Oscar the year before, playing adult Christina. I blanked on the name for a second.
Who cares?
She was fine.
She was probably one of the better actresses.
It was the one fight scene where she was so deadpan with all
That's
of her
true.
stuff. That was the only bad one.
That is a lie.
The young Christina was also nominated, and she was probably the best actress in this whole thing.
That's true. She seemed, like, for a kid actress, she seemed very believable in her reactions.
Yeah. And then let's talk about Faye Dunaway of Bonnie and Clyde fame and La La Land Moonlight Oopsie fame. Boy, oh boy.
Yeah, I didn't like her that much.
No. She was funny when she tilted her emotion up to 11.
Yeah.
Why are you always looking at yourself in the mirror? Why are you doing that? Tell me!
The entire time she was overacting.
Yes.
It was just in one way or another.
Her performance as a 40s actress was a 40s actress acting.
Yeah,
That was how she acting.
for sure.
With her acting.
Acting. The last movie, I think you pointed this out at the very beginning when we were watching it, was like the first movie was very stylized.
Yeah,
and this was
You Can't Stop the Music.
right. You Can't Stop the Music. Whereas this was very flat and like basic filmmaking. There's not a lot to say about it because like it was a movie. It wasn't very enjoyable, and that's I don't know. I have to sneeze. Give me a second.
My favorite thing about this movie is that it has what the American Film Institute considers one of the best lines in cinema.
No wire hangers ever!
Wasn't that great?
It's hilarious, dude.
Can't you remember that line?
I like Plastics, personally, from The Graduate.
I just want to say one word to you. Just one word.
Yes, sir.
Are you listening?
Yes, I am.
Plastics.
I don't know even if I would consider this the worst of the decade. Like
Yeah.
we'll see once we hit other things. But like when I was looking up this movie, it says like it was a cult classic.
I've heard of this movie before. Like, my mom's
Okay.
talked about this movie before, but...
If you knew who Joan Crawford was, like it was a better movie for you. Like if you had seen her in movies and
Yeah.
like she was a big actress, like I could see that.
Yeah.
But
I would, even if you just read the book, you know? I bet
Right.
the book would have gone into more detail.
it wasn't crazy good. Like I don't see how people love this movie because it's hilarious because it's boring. Like
Yeah. There's the bad movie that's fun to watch and funny, and then there's a bad movie that's boring. This was more on the boring side, but it had a few moments that made me laugh.
yeah.
So I don't know if I'd call it, like, worst of the decade.
It was worse than the first Razzie because the Razzie for the first one, the first half was at least entertaining. This one was kind of just bland throughout.
Let's start ranking it.
Sure. Do we want to rank it in terms of enjoyability?
Enjoyability bad or
Like-
bad?
Yeah, like, do we want to rate it from an objective, like this is just a bad movie, a bad example of filmmaking?
Art can't be objective, Jacob.
Yes, it can. Do we want to objectively say, like, this is bad filmmaking, or do we want to say this was a bad experience? Because I feel like this movie was better shot, and was a better narrative than Can't Stop the Music. Because Can't Stop the Music was a bunch of music videos interspersed with some
Like,
other
just
things.
tied together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This at least had some kind of narrative going on, even though it was just someone's life. Like,
Yeah.
it wasn't a good narrative.
Yeah, I would say Can't Stop the Music is a worse movie
Sure.
than Mommie Dearest.
Mommie Dearest, objectively okay.
This was nominated against Tarzan the Ape Man, Legend of the Lone Ranger, Heaven's Gate, and Endless Love.
None of which I've heard of.
All classics in my view. Alright. Do you have anything else you want to say about Mommie Dearest? Because I sure don't.
No, just standard film. I don't know. I don't think it's gonna keep that title of worst of the decade in our ranking, but well, it already hasn't. We already said that Can't Stop the Music was worse.
Was
so.
worse, yeah.
What we got next week?
Yeah, join us next time because we're going to talk about
Incron.
Inchin.
The turning point of the Korean War.
Jesus Christ.
Jesus Christ.
What do you have to do to have your music be like the worst score? How does it have to? Is it just like Yoko Ono screaming?